Alright, what's up guys? We're back again with another video with the Ice Bear Mad Dog. So you've seen me change the oil on it, you've seen me drive it, minus the fact it was super windy with all the wind noise. Mainly probably the visor was up from what someone was giving me in the comments. We'll try that again in the future. I actually ordered a GoPro with the GoPro skeleton case with a microphone, and I found out the microphone will not work with the GoPro if I don't have the GoPro microphone adapter. So still looking into that whole subject. But so today what we're gonna do is we're gonna change the oil in the CVT. We're gonna change out the trans oil. Overall it's pretty normal. I mean, you could run different types of oils in it. I've seen 75, 80, 80, 90. I'm probably gonna run with an 80, 90 because it's still hot out right now. So once it gets a little bit cooler, I'll probably drop down to a 75, 80 or so on. But we'll just go ahead and do that. I also have the Prima magnetic bolt kit for this. It works for all the 150cc engines, all the GY6 engines, the 157 QMJs, and so on. I can give you a little side-by-side comparison of what the old bolts look like versus the new bolts. Now, the kit itself from Primo is, it's about, I got it for about 24 bucks. Now, it does seem a little pricey for all it is. Overall, it's just 3 bolts and a magnet. But overall, it definitely will help pull out any kind of debris that the engine's going to put off, from the piston to the trans. And the engine one actually has, the main bolt has the magnet in it, and then the secondary bolt has another magnet in it. So there you have 2 magnets pulling any kind of debris out of your engine oil. So that's actually really good. But we'll walk over here, go through what we need first. Alright, so I got this whole list of stuff here. So obviously I got the ratchet. The trans bolt on the bottom is going to be a 10 millimeter. The reason I have the second socket is because the Primo bolt kit is actually a 12 millimeter. So we're going to be going from a 10 to a 12 millimeter head. You're definitely going to need something to drain the oil into. I'm just got this little cheap bowl. I have a drain pan too, but the drain pan is a little too tight in there and too big. So this was 80 cents at Walmart. Why not? You're definitely going to want a rag just in case any oil comes out and around. Clean off anything that you can get oil on, so forth. And then, like I said, 80W90 gear oil, or you can use the 7580, whatever your preference is. Also, this is a quick little tip that's going to make it maybe a little bit easier for you that I've found. If you have an old vacuum tube from your scooter, you can actually use the vacuum tube, hook the vacuum tube into the top of the funnel. That way you have actually a flexible hose to fill the trans, and you'll see why in a second. So we'll go over a quick comparison really quick between the 2 bolts stock to the Primo. I don't have the CVT bolt, but I will in a second. So this would be the stock oil bolts. So you can see this would be the driver's side bolt, and this will be the passenger side bolt where it has the spring, the mesh filter, all that. So that would be what it would look like straight out if you bought it stock. Now, once you get the Primo one, obviously you get the cool shiny Primo. You have the inserted magnet on the inside, and overall it just looks, I mean, looking at the 2 is definitely just, you can just tell. I mean, that looks good. That's like just like a faded out aluminum. And then you have the secondary bolt here, which is just pretty plain. It's just a bolt. Versus the Primo bolt. Got that nice little gold one. You got the washer. You got the magnet on the tip as well. So you're basically switching out these 2. So you got one that's already gold with the magnet on top. You got one that's just a normal bolt, no magnet, no washer, none of that. So this is definitely going to be a switch for you, hands down. Definitely a little upgrade. And then this would be the actual CVT bolt, you have another magnet on the CVT bolt, a washer, and it turns into a 12 millimeter, but you can also take it off with a screwdriver as well. So that's actually kind of nice. So, and that's all from Prima. But yeah, just want to do a little side-by-side comparison with you guys before I do that. I'm not going to change the oil today because I just changed it not too long ago. So normally I'd change them at the same time, but I didn't change the gear oil last time, so I'll save that for the next time. But I'll change the CVT bolt now though. Okay, so first getting started, I would just go ahead with the gear oil. Like I said, if you have an old vacuum line, go ahead, make sure you don't cut it off too deep or else the vacuum line won't fit. Go ahead and just shove that vacuum line down on it so you can have a nice little funnel thing, as you can see, holding it up, and it gives you the flexibility then to shove it in the fill hole, which is actually right here. It's gonna be right there, guys. Right there. So right underneath basically the vent for the CVT cover. And then once you drop underneath of it, the drain bolt is going to be right here on the bottom. Let you guys see that? Right there. It's literally directly on the bottom of the CVT, so you can't miss it. And that's a 10 millimeter bolt. So we're gonna go ahead, get our pan ready. Now I already have the 10 millimeter on the ratchet, and obviously you're gonna want to set it to the loosen position. And it helps a little bit. I have a piece of wood down there to kind of like even out these because the Ice Bear doesn't like to lean too much on its own. But basically just get up underneath of it. Go ahead and loosen it up. It's better if you can try to get it hand loose, so you can just actually turn it out by hand. That way you don't spill anything. And then we'll go underneath there, spin it the rest of the way out. Knock that washer loose. And there you go. And like I said, super dirty. As you can see, that is pretty dirty gear oil, you guys. Honestly. That's pretty bad. Definitely should have changed it last time. So, and then we got the stock bolt off. So, go ahead and take a little rag and wipe it down. All that good stuff. So there's that. And like I said, you can just tell the difference. I mean, you got the magnet, one doesn't have the magnet. This one just overall looks way better. Go ahead and wipe that guy off as well. Okay, so now that we'll let that thing just keep dripping. You can use the extension if you want. You don't really have to. I just like using it because it helps out a little bit. But you can get up in there, straight in, and you just pull back on it. Whew. I dropped the camera on you guys. But I'm going to put that here, show you guys what's going on. So now that that's loose, you can take it off of the ratchet and you can just use it. Go ahead and spin it loose. Now this one's gonna stay the same bolt, so you don't have to worry about that. You can go ahead and pull that washer back on that too. Just pull it, pull it, pull it. And then same thing, go ahead and wipe it off. All that good stuff. Go ahead and clean it up a little bit, that way you can get a better mating surface when you actually put it back on. That way there's no dirt or anything, maybe blocking the seal or anything like that. Even though it's just metal to metal still. You want it to be all clean. If you're gonna have clean oil, you're gonna want clean everything else. Then once that's dripping, it's pretty much done. Go go ahead and take the bolt, shove the bolt back in there. Go ahead and just hand thread it all the way up until it gets to the top. And then you're going to take, now it's going to be a 12 millimeter. Take the 12 millimeter, switch it over. Go ahead and tighten it up. Now you don't want to make it too tight, but you want to make it tight enough where you know it's not going to go anywhere. If that makes sense to anybody, you understand what I mean. So there you go. And now you can go ahead and wipe off the excess oil around it. That way it's just all nice and clean and stuff doesn't start sticking to it. And then, so here's more or less the fun part, guys. So I'll have to put you down for this one. So when you fill it up, basically what you got to do is you got to get the hose inside of the little drain, and you're basically just going to pump it full of gear oil until it decides to shoot back out. And you can even put the little bowl underneath of it as well, just to make sure, like, hey, I won't drop anything here. So it's still taking it. It should come out in a steady stream when it's pretty full. Now you can also do it you can do it this way, or you don't even have to use the vacuum tube. You can actually just come up here, try to get in it sideways, and actually try to force it in, just by basically forcing it in there. So there you go. So now that should be good now. Go ahead and do the same thing, wipe that down, clean up any oil that you did accidentally spill. And then you're going to want to put your bolt back in. Remember, that one's going to stay a 10 millimeter. Then you're going to go ahead and you're going to tighten that one up. Same thing. You want it to be tight, but you don't want to try to strip it out, because this stuff will strip out pretty quick. So there's that. And then that's it. And it'll take about, out of one of these, this was the last of it for me, but out of one of these, it'll take about 100 milliliters of, or 0.1, 100 milliliters of the bottle at a time, maybe a little bit more. Usually you just fill it in until it starts spilling itself back out. But that's going to be it for this time, guys. Hopefully you liked the video. Like I said, I have more stuff coming for this, a lot more. I've been looking at stuff, a bunch of stuff, a lot, mainly like the shock, the exhaust, intake, Elko carb, the McCuney fuel pump, a lot of stuff, and then the fatback tire swap, but that's going to be probably down the road. I'm not going to try to jump into that right away. I'm going to focus more on this area than cosmetics. But that's going to be it for today, guys. Hopefully you liked the video. If it did help you, go ahead and leave a like. If you have any questions, like always, go ahead and just ask. I can try to fill you in as much as possible. But yeah, that's pretty much it, you guys. Also, if you are thinking about getting one of these, go ahead and get it. The new edition of this, the Gen 5, will be out. I'm pretty sure it's October, but don't quote me on that. But besides that, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down there for the future videos. Also, if you can, and if you want to, of course, share on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, all that good stuff, so we can try to grow this channel to make it a bigger channel. But yeah, that's about it for today, you guys. More videos on the way. Stay tuned. Have a good night, guys.